Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome. Today's topic is the 1988 Cleveland Indians MLB season. And again, the Indians were playing at Cleveland Municipal Stadium, a very beloved ballpark. And they had only 5 more years that they'd be having their final year. So they're winding down at the stadium. The '88 Tribe was a good year. They had a big turnaround from the year before. Their record was 78-84, which was only 6 games under 500, not too bad. And they finished in 6th place, only 11 games out of first. And in April of that year, they set a club record with 16 wins, and they were in first place. By June 10th, their record was 36-23, 13 games over 500, only a game out of first. And then after that, they went into a decline. So basically, for April, May, and into June, we were a contender. So that's really good. And the fans responded. Attendance was up. There was 1.4 million fans who came to games. In the rotation, Greg Swindell, Tom Candiotti, and John Farrell each won at least 14 games, and that was the first time that had happened since 1956. When Early Wynn, Bob Lemon, and Herb Score each won 20. So actually more than 14, but anyway, at least 14 games. So that was, we had those three good starting pitchers. The coaching staff, Johnny Gorel was back for another year. Good old Johnny Gorel, very popular fellow. Louis Isaac as well was the bullpen coach. One of the new coaches was Charlie Manuel, who he was from Norfolk, Virginia, and as a player played for the Twins and Dodgers in his 6-year career. And then he spent 6 years in Japan. Was very successful as a player in Japan. He learned to speak Japanese. And in 1979, he was the MVP in Japan. Later, of course, he was the Indians manager for about 2.5 years, from 2000 to the middle of 2002. And then he was the Phillies manager from 2005 to 2013 and won a World Series in 2008. Yeah, it was too bad we fired him. I think we should have given him more time. Because currently, he's a senior advisor for the Phillies to the general manager. He's 74 years old. Manuel had an interesting life. He was the third of 11 children. He was born in a car. He came suddenly when his mother was visiting her mother. His father committed suicide in 1963 because he had serious health problems and he was very sick. And Charlie was only 19, and then he really had to help raise his younger siblings. He was a very popular player when he was in Japan. He played hard and had power. They called him Akaoni, or the Red Devil, in Japan. In that year in Japan, he hit 25 home runs in the first 8 weeks of the season, on pace to break the Japanese home run record of 16 home runs in 1 month. And then on June 19, 1979, he was beamed. He was hit in the head, very badly hurt. His jaw was broken in 6 places. He was wearing a dental bridge from an earlier accident in the minors, and so there was nothing for the doctors to wire together. They had wound up inserting 3 plates in his head, and they removed nerves from his face. Oh, this poor fellow. And after that, he continued. He was 6 weeks out of action, but he was back in playing, and people were worried if he got hit in the head again, if it could kill him. In 2001, as Indians manager, he led the Tribe to the American League Central title. He's had a number of health problems over the years. He had a heart attack, quadruple bypass surgery, a blocked and infected colon, kidney cancer, and with the Indians, he wore a colostomy bag for a period of time. Good guy, real good guy, Charlie Manuel. I know he helped Jim Thome a lot as his hitting coach. And very, very beloved fellow, very friendly, and really knew baseball, and really, good motivator of players. He won a World Series. Another new coach was Tom Spencer, who was from Gallipolis, Ohio, played for the White Sox in 1978. And as a minor league manager, he's won 3 championships with the Asheville Tourists in 1984, the Geneva Cubs in 1987, and the Charlotte Knights in 1997. And for the Tribe that year, he was our first base coach, Tom Spencer. Another new coach was Mark Wiley, who was from National City, California. He was our pitching coach. In his playing career, he played for the Twins, Padres, Blue Jays from 1975 to 78. Now, in 1987, the Indians had the worst ERA in the American League, 5.28. And then with Mark Wiley, in 1988, the club ERA dropped over 1 run per game to 4.16. And the following year, it was even lower, 3.65, which was 5th in the American League. So, he had a very positive effect on Indians pitchers. Real good pitching coach. He's currently the director of pitching operations for the Rockies, and he's 70 years old. Herb Score was, again, calling games on the radio, and good old Herb Score. His partner in the booth was Paul Olden, new guy, and Paul Olden is the current public address announcer for the Yankees. He's done that since 2009. He's had a tremendous career. He was a radio TV announcer for the Yankees, the Devil Rays, the Angels, the Indians, the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL, the UCLA Bruins in college basketball, the LA Rams in the NFL, and the New York Jets and the New Jersey Nets in the NBA. So really something. In 1978, he was interviewing Tommy Lasorda and innocently asked a question about Dave Kingman had hit 3 home runs against the Dodgers that day, and then what followed was Lasorda had an infamous profanity-laden tirade. I guess he was, it's pretty tough. These managers and players get fed up with the questions, and of course these poor sports writers or media people have to ask them. Paul Olden was the PA announcer for 12 Super Bowls from 1994 to 2005, so he had quite a career. Doc Edwards was our manager that year, did a very good job, because the Indians really had a much better year. He won the Good Guy Award. In the field, Mel Hall was in left field, hit .280, 6 home runs, 71 RBIs, had 7 stolen bases in 150 games, so a good year for Mel Hall. Brett Butler was gone. He signed as a free agent with the Giants, so Joe Carter moved to center and hit .271, 27 home runs, 98 RBIs, 27 stolen bases in 157 games. What an amazing player. This guy with power and speed, and then they put him in that tough position, which is center field. So Joe Carter had a tremendous year in 1988. Corey Snyder was in right, hit .272, 26 home runs, 75 RBIs in 142 games. Snyder had a cannon for an arm. He was great at throwing out runners who would try to score or move from first to third on hits to right. Brooke Jacoby was at third. He had an off year. He had .241, 9 home runs, 49 RBIs. Our shortstop was Jay Bell, who had hit .218, 2 home runs, 21 RBIs in 73 games. Yeah, his hitting wasn't so great, but he had a very bright future. Julio Franco, they finally were able to convince him to move to second base, and he had another tremendous season hitting, hit .303, 10 home runs, 54 RBIs, and 25 stolen bases. A new player at first base was Willie Upshaw. We signed him as a free agent, and he hit .245, 11 home runs, 50 RBIs, and 12 stolen bases. Upshaw was from Blanco, Texas, and he played for the Blue Jays for 9 years, had a tremendous career with them, just for the Indians for 1 year, and then had a couple years in Japan. In his career, he hit 123 home runs. Currently, he's a manager of the independent minor league team in Bridgeport, the Bridgeport Bluefish. In 1983, he became the first Toronto Blue Jay to have 100 RBIs. He's also a coach for the San Francisco Giants 2006 and 2007. And when Barry Bonds broke Hank Aaron's record, all-time home run record of 755, Upshaw was the first to give him a high five. He was a coach for the Giants. Willie Upshaw's cousin, Gene Upshaw, is an NFL Hall of Famer, one time head of the NFL Players Union. Willie Upshaw. Andy Allenson was our catcher at 263, 5 home runs, 50 RBIs. Solid year for Andy Allenson. Ron Kittle was another free agent we picked up, and he was our DH at 258, 18 home runs, 43 RBIs. Kittle was from Gary, Indiana, played for the White Sox, Yankees, Tribe, and Orioles from 1982 to 1991, mostly for the White Sox. He had 176 career home runs. He was a 1983 American League Rookie of the Year. He is currently building custom collectible benches out of baseballs, bats, and bases. Also doing PR work for the White Sox. Before his career, he worked as a steel worker, worked in a steel mill. And in the 1983 White Sox, he was very popular. He was popular. The team did very well. They won 99 games, the first time they made the playoffs since 1959. Kittle was the 1982 Pacific Coast League MVP and hit 50 home runs there. So it's kind of fun having Ron Kittle in Cleveland for a year. Now the bench players, Rod Allen hit .091 in 5 games. Allen was from Los Angeles, California. Played for the Mariners, Tigers, Tribe, and in Japan from 1983 to 1991. Chris Bando helped out as a spare catcher. Hit 125, 1 home run, 8 RBIs in 32 games. So he didn't see much playing time. Just to back up a little bit, Rod Allen, in Japan, he hit 4 home runs in 4 at-bats. And so that was pretty amazing. One point, he was hit by the pitch by pitcher Kazuhiko Diamond, who played for the Yokohama Taiyo Whales. And then Allen charged the mound and chased Damon across the entire field. This guy took off. And both benches were following them. So everyone was on the field, and as Allen was chasing the pitcher, and everybody was following behind Rod Allen. Rod Allen was a hitting constructor for the Marlins for 4 years. He was the Arizona Diamondbacks TV broadcaster for 5 years, and he's currently the Tigers TV broadcaster. Carmen Castillo is another bench player at 273, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, and 6 stolen bases in 66 games. Didn't get a lot of playing action. Dave Clark, another bench player, hit 263, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs in 63 games. Dan Ferrova was in 1 game and did not have an at-bat, so he played some defense. Ferrova was from Refugio, Texas. Played for the Mariners and Tribe between 1981 and 1988. For his career, he had played in 17 games, had 7 at-bats, but did not get a hit. In high school class, he was high school shop class. He had an accident, cut off his finger with a bandsaw. He also played in the Mexican League, and he was Mexican League Manager of the Year in 2000. He was a catcher, and he's currently the manager of the Class AAA Acereros de Moldova in the Mexican League. Dan Ferrova. Terry Francona played for the Indians in 1988. He was a free agent pickup. He had .311, 1 home run, 12 RBIs in 62 games. Whereas his father, Tito Francona, was a tremendous and very beloved player for the Tribe between 1959 and 1964. Terry Francona was born in Aberdeen, South Dakota. As a player, he played for the Expos, Cubs, Reds, Tribe, and Brewers between 1981 and 1990. He's been a manager. He was a manager of the Phillies, Red Sox, and actually right now for the Tribe. And for the Red Sox, Francona won 2 World Series. He broke the curse of Babe Ruth. In 2004, he won their first World Series in 86 years. And then in 2007, he led the Red Sox against the Indians in the ALCS. We were up 3-1. And then they won the next 3 and then won the World Series. Francona was a minor league manager in 1994 in Birmingham, and he managed Michael Jordan, who took a break from the NBA. And he's been the Indians manager since 2013 to the present, and got the Indians to the 2016 World Series, pushed the Cubs to 7 games. And even though he lost that series, the Cubs ended their 108-year title drought. We're very blessed, I believe, that we have Terry Francona managing the Indians. He's a really good guy, really knows baseball, really cares about the players, and is very, very tremendous motivator. Another bench player was Houston Jimenez, who hit .048 in 9 games. His given name was Alfonso. He's from Mexico City, Mexico. He's a shortstop, played for the Twins, Pirates, and Tribe between 1983 and 1988. And then in the Mexican League from 1993 to 2001 when he retired. He's currently a manager in the Olmecas de Tabasco in the Mexican League. Scott Jordan was another bench player, hit .111 in 7 games. He went to college at Georgia Tech and set a record by 79 consecutive games getting on base. In his career, he had 1 hit and 1 RBI, and then after retiring, he became a baseball card dealer in Atlanta, Georgia. Tom Lampkin was another bench player, had a batting average of .000 in 4 games. 4 at-bats, did not get a hit. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio, a catcher, played for the Tribe, Padres, Brewers, Giants, Cardinals, and Mariners between 1988 and 2002. Louis Medina was another bench player, hit .255, 6 home runs, 8 RBIs in 16 games. Medina was from Santa Monica, California. He was a DH first baseman, played for the Tribe 1988 and 89 and in 91. He also played in Japan for the Hiroshima Toyo Carp between 1993 and 1995. For his career, he had 10 home runs and 16 RBIs. Louis Medina. Domingo Ramos, also another bench player, hit .261 in 22 games. He was a free agent. He was from Santiago de los Caballeros in the Dominican Republic, an infielder. Domingo Ramos. Pat Tabler was, call him a bench player. His career was winding down. He hit .224, 1 home run, 17 RBIs in 41 games. And on June 3rd, he was traded to the Royals for pitcher Bud Black. So that was the end of the Pat Tabler era in Cleveland. He had a really fine career with the Indians. Another bench player was Ron Tingley, who hit .167 in 9 games. Tingley was from Presque Isle, Maine. He's a catcher, played for the Padres, Tribe, Angels, Marlins, White Sox, and Tigers between 1982 and 1995. In 1991, with the Angels, he led the American League. He threw out 52.4% of guys trying to steal second base. Ron Tingley. Ron Washington was another bench player, hit .256, 2 home runs, 21 RBIs, 69 games. He was a free agent pickup. Ron Washington was from New Orleans, Louisiana. He was a shortstop. Played for the Dodgers, Twins, Orioles, Tribe, and Astros between 1977 and 1989. He became the manager of the Texas Rangers, 2007 to 2014, and so that was about 7 years. And he got the Rangers to the World Series twice, 2010 and 2011. That's the only time they'd ever been to the World Series. Unfortunately, they lost both. It was too bad. And he has the most career wins as a Texas Ranger manager, 582. And he's currently a coach with the Braves, Ron Washington. Eddie Williams was another bench player, hit .190 in 10 games. Williams was from Memphis, Tennessee. Played for the Dodgers and Tribe between 1985 and 88. Paul Zuvella was another free agent pickup, hit .231 in 51 games. He was a shortstop. Zuvella was from San Mateo, California. Played for the Braves, Yankees, Tribe, and Royals between 1982 and 1981. He was a Rockies minor league manager. In the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Zuvella appears in a baseball game that was played. Footage from a game from June 5th, 1985, when this character, Mr. Rooney, is watching a baseball game in a bar, and Zuvella was a runner on first in that clip. Paul Zuvella. Now our pitching staff, Greg Swindell had a tremendous year. He went 18-14 with a 3.20 ERA, 33 starts, 12 complete games, and 4 shutouts. He was our ace that year. Tom Candiotti also had a good year. It was 14-8 with a 3.28 ERA, 31 starts, 11 complete games. So those guys were helping the bullpen. John Farrell went 14-10 with a 4.24 ERA and 30 starts. Rich Yett was 9-6 with a 4.62 ERA and 22 starts. Scott Bales was 9-14, not so great. 4.90 ERA, 21 starts, and 5 complete games. Bud Black was 2-3 with a 5.03 ERA in 7 starts. We picked him up in a trade for Pat Tabler from the Royals. Bud Black was from San Mateo, California. Played for the Mariners, mostly the Royals, and then the Tribe, Blue Jays, and Giants between 1981 and 1995. He was the San Diego Padres manager for 8 years, from 2007 to 2015. And currently, since 2017, he's the Colorado Rockies manager. He won, as a player, he won a World Series with the 1985 Royals. He was part of their fine pitching rotation. And he also won another World Series with the Angels in 2002 as their pitching coach. His parents were from Canada. He was the National League Manager of the Year in 2010 with the Padres. And he was the Royals starting pitcher in the famous George Brett Pine Tar incident, that game. Bud Black surrendered Reggie Jackson's 500th career home run and Mike Piazza's first home run. So just imagine on the Indians that year we had these guys: Terry Francona, John Farrell, and Bud Black and Ron Washington. All these fellows who had a lot of success as managers in what became the future. And in case of Francona winning 2 World Series, and Farrell winning 1, and then Ron Washington getting to 2 World Series. Rod Nichols was another starting pitcher. Didn't have a great record. 1-7 with a 5.06 ERA and 10 starts. Nichols was from Burlington, Iowa. Played for the Tribe, the Dodgers, Braves, and in Japan for the Fukuoka Dai Hawks. And between 1988 and 1997, he also worked as a minor league pitching coach. He was the Phillies coach between 2013 and 2015, and he's currently minor league pitching coach for the Iowa Cubs, Rod Nichols. Another bullpen guy, or one of the bullpen guys, was Cota Rowley, who went 0-4 with a 9.31 ERA in 14 games. He had 1 save. And Cota Rowley was from Oxford, California, played for the A's, Tribe, and Royals between 1982 and 1990. In 1985, he led the A's with 14 wins. Cota Rowley. Doug Jones was our big man out of the bullpen. He was 3-4, 2.27 ERA. That's very, very good. 37 saves in 51 games. He made the All-Star team, and he was the Indians' Man of the Year. Tremendous year for Doug Jones. Jeff Dedmon was 1-0 with a 4.54 ERA in 21 games with 1 save. We picked him up in a trade from the Braves. Dedmon was from Torrance, California. Played for the Braves and Tribe between 1983 and 1988. His career record was 20-16 with 12 saves. Jeff Dedmon. Don Gordon was 3-4 with a 4.40 ERA in 38 games. He had 1 save. Brad Havens was 2-3 with a 3.14 ERA, 28 games, 1 save. Havens was from Highland Park, Michigan. Played for the Twins, Orioles, Dodgers, Tribe, and Tigers between 1981 and 1989. Brad Havens. He also won a World Series with the Dodgers in 1988. Jeff Kaiser had no decisions and an ERA of 0.00 in 3 games. Bill Lasky was 1-0 with a 5.18 ERA in 17 games. He was a free agent pickup. Lasky was from Toledo, Ohio, not too far from Cleveland. Played for the Giants, Expos, and Tribe between 1982 and 1988. In 1982, he made the All-Star team playing for the Giants, and then Tommy Lasorda persuaded him to give up his spot for the, quote, soon-to-retire Phil Niekro, who actually didn't retire for 5 more years. And then Lasky was a good guy. He agreed, and then he never made another All-Star game, so that was a shame. And he said he never should have trusted Tommy Lasorda. He's currently a baseball TV analyst for NBC Sports for the Giants. Bill Lasky. John Perlman was 0-2 with a 5.49 ERA, 10 games. Perlman was from Dallas, Texas, played for the Cubs, Giants, and Tribe between 1985 and 1988. Rick Rodriguez was 1-2 with a 7.09 ERA. That's pretty high. 10 games, and he started 5 games. Rodriguez was from Oakland, California, played for the A's, Tribe, and Giants between 1986 and 1990. He was a coach for the A's 2011 to 2012, and he's currently a coach in the minor leagues for the Nashville Sounds since 2016. Dan Schatzeder was 0-2 with a 9.56 ERA. That's pretty high. 15 games, he had 3 saves. He's from Elmhurst, Illinois. He played for the Expos, Tigers, Giants, Phillies, Twins, and Tribe, and also the Astros, Mets, and Royals. Long career between 1977 and 1991. He won a World Series with the 1987 Twins. After his playing career, he was a high school PE teacher in Aurora, Illinois. In 1986, he had 5 pinch hits for the Expos. And just imagine a pitcher who was a pinch hitter. That was the most by a pitcher in a season since Don Newcomb in 1959. In the 87 World Series, he was the winning pitcher in Game 6 for the Twins. So he's a World Series hero. His record was 69-68. And finally, Mike Walker was 0-1 with a 7.27 ERA, 3 games. Walker was from Chicago, Illinois, played for the Tribe, Cubs, and Tigers between 1988 and 1996. For his career, was 3-11 with a 5.09 ERA and 76 strikeouts. So the 1988 Cleveland Indians, yeah, they had a good year and gave us a lot of, especially April and May. So God bless all those fellows who played for the Tribe in 1988. Captains of the Cuyahoga, lovers of Lake Erie, Terminal Tower Power, Tribe rules, Cleveland City of Champions. It's been 70 years since 1948. This is our year. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.